Hello and welcome to another fly tying session with your host Scott. In this session we're going to be tying a little river nymph called the Quill Nymph, and it's in my book here. That's what we're going to be going for, that. And to tie it we're going to be using a size 14 B405, that's what's in the vise. We've got some 2.4mm tungsten beads. I'm using a 14-0 thread in tan, very fine thread. We're going to be using a grizzle hackle from a Indian grizzle cock cape. You're supposed to use coque de lion or coque de lion, but I haven't got any, and this is probably the closest you can get to it without buying that, so that's not too bad. And for the quill, we're going to have to make the quills from some Peacock Herl using that and a pencil eraser. And then for the thorax we're going to be using that dubbing there, the tan dubbing, to get a close effect to what we've got in the book. So to get started, we're going to bed the hook. Now the company that makes this thread is called Sheer, and I bought it off Glasgow Angling Centre to do some really fine work. We were talking size 16 and below, but I thought I'd use it on this particular one as well. So we bedded the hook, we're going to put the tail on now. It's a very sparsely dressed tail, using these fibres here. So you're going to pinch them off, make sure they're all around the same length, get rid of that one. And then pinch turn to tie them in. And that's a little bit long, so we're going to pull it in, and that'll probably do it there. There we go, that's got it. Now I'm going to trim the length of the body, and then we're going to tidy up. Now you want to build a slight taper so that it's slightly thicker towards the bead. And that should probably do it. That'll probably catch fish on its own, as is. So if you do lose the dressing, then you could probably fish it as it is, but we're going to dress it properly. So we're going to strip 2 pieces of Peacock Herl off, and then we're going to use the pencil eraser to remove the barbs. It's going to be a soft pencil eraser, and you rub against the grain, against the smooth surface, and the barbs on the herl should come off. There we are, and that's what they look like when they're done. Now I use these quite a lot in fly tying now. They're very, very useful, very good for making a very realistic insect-like rib. And I definitely recommend that you get into the habit of using them. You can use them in all sorts of different patterns. So I'm going to tie it in at the thin end first. I've just trimmed it off a bit. I'm going to tie both of them in at the same time. And then take the thread up right the way to the bead. And then we're going to wind the body with touching turns. Now the reason I've used 2 is because you can cover it quicker. It's just easy to wind with too. If you're using it to make a rib, then you just use the one and tie it off at the bead. Now at this point, if you really want to and you've got time, you could use some UV resin and finish it off, and then let that all dry, and then come back and use some dubbing afterwards once it's all set. But I'm just going to fish them as they are, I think, and see how we get on with it. So you're going to get your chosen dubbing. I have done some with a hot pink mixed with a hot orange for the grayling, but it's the grayling closed season at the moment. Only the trout season is open, so I'm concentrating on the trout fly. There's nothing to say a grayling wouldn't take this as well. But once this is tied, I'm off down the river for my second session on the river of the season so far. I have tried to fish it once already, and I didn't get a pull, which is really unusual. Just get rid of the excess there. I'm just going to trim some of it away. I've got a guest today, you may be able to hear him. He's called Finn. I've had to keep him in here with me because we have a lot of pheasants running around outside, and I can't do this and keep an eye on him as well. Just a tiny little nymph. This is really nice little nymph. I'm going to add some varnish to the thread and then whip finish. It should sink well as well. And there we are. That is the Quill Nymph. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.